Hey all, this is Reverend Keys. How are you all doing? And I am here to do a tribute to Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, who recently passed away. I'm going to be playing music off this CD, Sounds of the Summer, and it's like all the best hits of the Beach Boys. So let's talk a little bit about Brian Wilson. I'm actually going to be reading this to you. So, Brian Wilson, this is a picture of him. If you didn't know who he was, that was him as he got older. Brian Wilson, let me see if we can read this here. Thank you. All right. So Brian Wilson, who as the I'm actually reading this verbatim. Brian Wilson, who as the leader and chief songwriter of the Beach Boys, became rock's post laureate of surf and sun innocence, but also an embodiment of damaged genius through mental illness, struggles with mental illness and drugs. He died at age 82. And if you guys haven't seen the movie yet, it's called Love and Mercy, starring Nicolas Cage. It's about some of those tormented years of Brian Wilson. It's really worth the watch. And I think it's a very good show. So we are going to be playing lots of music. However, my first set is going to be introduced by It Keys. If you don't know who It Keys is, It Keys is a non-binary, not sure if the thing is a leprechaun, human being, or alien from outer space. And as you can see, I'm not here in Osai, California. We've got the American flag up there, and kudos to America for finally doing something about the nuclear threat from a country we probably can't say yet because they won't allow us on certain channels. So anyway, I'm just going to read a little bit here. Let me see if I can read that. So Brian Wilson was born in Inglewood in 1942. Uh, so let me see. Uh, at a young age, Brian Wilson was almost completely deaf in his right ear. There's various reasons why he was deaf in his right ear, but according to the newspaper here, it says that when Wilson's father, Murray, uh, battered Brian psychologically and physically, including hitting his then teenage son in the head so hard with a 2x4 piece of wood that the younger Wilson lost his hearing in one ear. Later in his life, he was diagnosed with schizophrenic disorder and manic depression. So the lead singer, not the lead singer, he is actually kind of the older brother of the Wilsons, or two other Wilsons, Carl and Dennis. Dennis being the drummer, and Carl a guitar player. Here's another picture of a young Dennis Wilson, if you can see it there. And I believe that was from their Pet Songs release. So that's that. What else is going on here? And I did say that It Keys is going to be introducing the first three songs about surfing, and you'll actually see him surfing here in Osai, California. So from a young age, Brian Wilson was almost completely deaf. And here's the lineup of the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys, nationally known. It was Brian played bass. Didn't know he played bass. Dennis was on the drums. I knew that. Carl and Al Jardine played guitar, and then there was Mike Love also. So anyway, you are going to hear lots of songs from here. And last but not least, I can probably lead that. So in bad things really started happening for Brian. Well, his father hitting him on the head with a 2x4 was probably the start of it and the psychological damage. But things started going downhill. In 1964, Brian married Marilyn Rovell, who was actually in a group called the Honeys. A few weeks later, Brian, just before Christmas, he had a panic attack on a flight in a Beach Boys engagement in Houston, and decided to quit touring to concentrate on songwriting and recording. And as I said, if you want to know further, he did some wacky stuff, but he was diagnosed with mental illness. So if you want to see the whole thing about Brian and his struggles with mental illness and a lawyer and a wife that came to actually save him, and in fact, let me see here, when did that happen? So in 1995, he married Melinda Ledbetter, a former model who worked at a car dealership and had sold him a Cadillac. And she actually helped him escape from the clutches of a bad lawyer. And that's basically the movie. So it's well worth it. Love and Mercy, starring Nicolas Cage. So we are going to start off with It Keys and then follow down. You're going to hear a lot of great tunes from the Beach Boys. Most of these, well, all the ones that I have on this show were written by Brian Wilson, and in fact, some were. He was the lead singer on it. So this is Reverend Keys, as I said. You can see by the shirt, Reverend Keys, In God We Trust, and Rick Keys, the patriarch of the show, my boss. He actually told me. Well, he actually believes in God. Damn it. Yeah, I fucking lost it. Damn it. Fuck. Excuse me. Okay, I think we're still here. Reverend Keys, wash your mouth out with soap. So this is Rick Keys and Reverend Keys, I'm sorry. So Reverend Keys, as I mentioned before I lost the focus, in God we trust. I trust. Rick Keys trust. Rick Keys makes me wear this hat just to know that it is his show, not mine. And Rick Keys also wanted me to wear this hat to let you all know that Rick Keys loves Jesus and God. So stay tuned, all my fans in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, and all the countries of the world. USA is lagging behind, but I think you're going to really like this show. So stay tuned. Reverend Keys tribute to Brian Wilson coming up. And you know how to listen. You go to uh, Rick Keys Music Caravan. That's how you spell Keys, Keyes. Rick Keys Music Caravan on YouTube. Subscribe. And then you look for it's an actual podcast. You look for the podcast that says Reverend Keys on there, and you will hear this great Brian Wilson tribute. So stay tuned. And may God bless you.